Hi everyone! In today's video, I'm going to talk about how I deal with being stared at as a person with a visible difference. So, I've had many different approaches to this over the years, but before I tell you what they are, I just want to let you know that it's completely okay to be angry and upset and confused when people are staring at you or making comments at you, because it is something that I don't think we should have to deal with. It's hard enough having visible differences, having to go through the surgery and bullying and everything else. When you have a visible difference, you really want to try and put it behind you and live your life as normally as you can because, you're a normal person at the end of the day. But being stared at in the streets acts as a reminder to you that you're different, and you're not alone if this is something that you struggle with. For years, I used to let this get to me so much. It caused my confidence levels to drop. It also caused me to want to hide my differences. Obviously, my cleft on my face, not that easy to hide. I used to walk with my head down, and still sometimes to this day I do. I also used to try and hide my hand as much as possible, and again, this is something that I still struggle with. I think out of all my differences, my hand is the one that I hide the most. Don't get me wrong, there are days when I do want to walk with my head held high, but there are also, like I said, days when I want to hide my differences just because I get sick of being stared at. And like I said, that is perfectly normal and perfectly okay. And you're not alone. It also caused me to be worrying 24/7 about what everyone was thinking about me. Again, this is something that I still struggle with to this day, but I'm getting better and better at it. So, now on to how I have dealt with stares in the past versus how I deal with them today. When I was younger, I didn't really used to deal with stares in the best way. I didn't really understand why I was being stared at, so a lot of the time I would just stick my tongue out, pull a silly face at the person that was staring at me, because, like I said, I just didn't get it. Looking back, I don't think this is the best way I could have dealt with it, but at the time, this is just what I did. I then went through a stage of just ignoring it completely. This was when I started to realise, okay, yeah, I think I know why people are staring at me now. I've realised that I'm different from everybody else and they're staring at me. I'm just going to ignore it, because at this time I was pretty insecure. I used to just try and ignore it, not face the problem, push it to the back of my mind, brush it off. Every time something was said about me, every time someone looked at me, it was something I just tried to ignore. You might think this is a good thing, and for some people I think this does work. They are able to just ignore it, but after a while of just, in a way, suppressing my anger towards those people and suppressing how I actually felt about it, it wasn't really doing me much good. I was just trying to forget about the problem rather than facing it in a positive way. I just completely ignored it, and it was getting pretty difficult to ignore. So then I decided to try a new approach, and this is something that I still do today. Smiling. I have said this before and I will say it again. Smiling is like a universal language, and I feel that it's the best way to deal with a lot of situations. I have to say, it has worked wonders for me. I now feel so much better in situations just for smiling. I know it's an uncomfortable situation and you probably want to walk with your head down. It's something I did for years, and like I said, on some days I still do. But rather than keeping your head down and trying to ignore it, try holding your head high and putting a big smile on your face. After all, it's a polite way of acknowledging the person that's staring at you, because not every stare is a malicious one. I think a lot of the time staring is done out of curiosity and people might not even realise they're staring, especially children. So when I smile at them, people realise that I've acknowledged their stare, and they will either smile back, which happens quite a lot, which is quite nice, or they'll just look away because they realise, oh yeah, I was actually just staring at them and I didn't even realise. Or sometimes people do carry on staring, and when that happens, I just try and move on with my day because those people are not worth my attention. Obviously, things are slightly different when it comes to children, because a lot of the time, like I said, they are doing it because they're curious. They might not have seen someone like you before, but I feel like I could make a whole other video about that. But generally, I will just smile at them, maybe give them a wave, say hi, and just let them know that it's okay to be curious, it's okay to look at me, but I'm still a friendly person. But at the end of the day, whether it's an adult or a child, I just want to show people that I am a normal person and that I'm no different to anybody else. If you're watching this and you have a visible difference, I know, like I said, it can be tough, but try holding your head high, giving this a go, smiling at people when you walk past them, whether they're staring at you or not, and just see how different it feels. I know it's difficult to deal with staring, it does put you in a really awkward position and it is annoying when it happens every day. Like I said, you can feel angry and upset about this, but I think the best way to deal with it, and from my experience this has worked the best, is just to smile. So maybe give it a go. And if you're someone watching this who does not have a visible difference, then all I would ask is that you don't stare at us in the streets. Be kind. We are normal people just like you, and we just want to get on with our day. It's okay if you don't realise that you're staring, but it makes a world of difference to us if you acknowledge us like you would acknowledge anybody else in the streets. Wave, smile, say hello, things like that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've been able to see how my response to staring has changed over the years, and not everything I do will work for everyone, you know, people just have to find what works for them. But I hope you found it interesting to hear how I deal with it anyway. And yeah, be brave, smile at people, be kind, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye!